Vivian Vance, an American actress beloved by millions, left an indelible mark on entertainment history with her portrayal of Ethel Mertz, the loyal but often nagging neighbor on the classic sitcom I Love Lucy. With her subtle acting, sharp humor, and undeniable chemistry with Lucille Ball, Vance made history when she became the first actress to win an Emmy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 1954. Together with William Frawley, who played Fred Mertz, they formed the lovable but irritable host couple and a comedy dream team that exploded onto the small screen. However, behind the glittering spotlights of Desilu Studios, the truth was much darker and more bitter. Vivian Vance actually hated William Frawley more than anyone she had ever worked with in her long career. What audiences mistake for humorous, well-intentioned banter is often a reflection of real-life contempt. So what created this deep animosity, a contrast so dramatic that it became one of the most shocking anecdotes in television history? Was it simply a matter of professional differences, Vance's perfectionism and high work ethic clashing with Frawley's lazy, drunk attitude? Or did this inner tragedy stem from deeper wounds, professional jealousy, body shaming, and emotional wounds that had been hidden for years under the guise of laughter? Let's explore Vivian Vance's thorny journey together to uncover the hidden truth and explain why this personal antagonism became an inseparable part of the artistic legacy of one of America's greatest comedians. Vivian Vance, born Vivian Roberta Jones, was born on July 26, 1909 in Cherryvale, Kansas, United States. She grew up in a conservative and religious family in the heartland of America. From an early age, Vance showed a passion for the performing arts, especially music and acting, despite strong opposition from her mother. When the family moved to Independence, Kansas, at the age of 6, she began studying drama at Independence High School. Determined to pursue her passion, she changed her last name to Vance and moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, in search of acting opportunities, participating in local theater activities. The local theater community helped her travel to New York City to study drama under Ava Legolen. Vance's move to New York in the 1930s marked a significant turning point in her career. Beginning in 1932, she appeared in numerous Broadway productions, initially as a chorus girl, and then gradually moving into supporting roles. She appeared in such notable productions as Anything Goes and The Voice of the Turtle, where her singing and acting talents began to shine. Vance's stage career peaked with her role as Nancy Callister in Cole Porter's musical Let's Face It in 1941. Her performance received rave reviews, and the musical ran for 547 performances, making it a career-high achievement. Along with her Broadway success, Vance also sought opportunities in film in the 1940s. After starring in a revival of The Cradle Will Rock in 1947, Vance moved to California. While in Los Angeles, she appeared in 2 films, as Leah, a street-smart maid in The Secret Fury, 1950, and as Alicia in The Blue Veil, 1951. Although she received positive reviews from critics, these films were not enough to spark the film career she had hoped for. Vance's biggest break came in 1951, when she was cast opposite Lucille Ball in I Love Lucy. As Ethel Mertz, Vance masterfully played the sarcastic best friend and neighbor who was the calmest person in the face of Lucy Ricardo's crazy antics. Her performance created one of the most beloved comedy couples in television history. Vance made history when she won her first Emmy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 1954. Her portrayal of Ethel Mertz was considered groundbreaking, not just a supporting role to the male lead, but a true comedic force. She brought humanity and intimacy to the role, often underlining the show's absurd situations with her wit and warmth. After I Love Lucy ended, Vance reprised her role as Lucille Ball on The Lucy Show in 1962, on the condition that her character be named Vivian, and that she be allowed to wear more glamorous clothing. After leaving the series in 1965, she appeared in Blake Edwards's film The Great Race. While the film was a moderate success and received several Oscar nominations, it failed to spark the film career Vance had hoped for. Nevertheless, Vivian Vance's contributions to the arts, both on stage and on screen, are a testament to her resilience and versatility. Aside from the spotlight, in private, Vivian Vance led a complex and challenging personal life, marked by 4 marriages. Her first 3 marriages ended in divorce, reflecting the turmoil and personal struggles she faced, including bouts of depression. Particularly notable was her third marriage, to actor Philip Ober, which lasted 18 years. Ober, who had a modest acting career, was said to have grown increasingly resentful of Vance's huge success, especially as she became nationally famous for her role as Ethel Mertz. Rumors and reports suggested that Ober was not only emotionally abusive, but also physically violent, motivated by jealousy of Vance's superior professional achievements. This personal pain may have influenced Vance's later decisions and made her wary of romantic relationships. A new chapter soon began on January 16, 1961, when Vance married her fourth and final husband, John Dodds. Dodds was a respected literary agent, editor, and publisher who seemed to provide her with the stability, respect, and companionship she had been seeking. Their relationship was built on mutual admiration and emotional support. The couple lived peacefully in Stamford, Connecticut, and then moved to Belvedere, California in 1974, in part because of Vance's ongoing health problems. The marriage lasted until Vance's death on August 17, 1979, from metastatic breast cancer. Yet Vivian Vance's most shocking personal and professional tragedy was not her marital difficulties or her unsuccessful film career, but her feud with co-star William Frawley. This antagonism was more than a mere personal conflict. It was a long-running emotional battle that took place behind the scenes of the comedy they presented to millions of viewers, and the truth behind it is key to understanding Vance's complex legacy. In public accounts throughout the 1950s, Vance and Frawley, as Ethel and Fred Mertz, were the ideal comedy duo. They were praised for their ability to quarrel with the kind of timing that only seasoned professionals can achieve. The two formed an inseparable duo with Lucy and Ricky Ricardo, becoming an indispensable factor in the resounding success of I Love Lucy. The biggest question about their relationship was raised from the start: the huge difference in age and appearance, and Vance's harsh reaction. At the start of I Love Lucy in 1951, Vance was about 42 years old, described as an elegant and charming actress, classically trained in theater. In contrast, Frawley was in her 60s, balding, and had a reputation for being a grumpy, abrasive character actor. The underlying truth and the source of the resentment was that Vance publicly complained about the pairing, saying it was absolutely unbelievable that someone like her would marry someone like Frawley. She even expressed that Frawley should have played her father instead of her husband. This blunt criticism angered Frawley, whose pride and ego were too high to accept. From that moment on, the two were locked in a cold war of mutual contempt that lasted for the rest of their working lives. The animosity between Vance and Frawley was fueled by a combination of personal, lifestyle, personality, and social, systemic, professional pressure and appearance factors. Personal professional causes. Chat. Conflict in working styles. Vance was a perfectionist who valued professionalism, insisting on meticulous rehearsal, script analysis, and attention to detail. Frawley, who was described as old, often lazy, tended to memorize lines quickly and resisted any changes, often becoming irritable when scenes required multiple takes. Drinking problems. Frawley also had a reputation for drinking heavily, even during work hours, which sometimes made him unreliable and unpredictable on set. Deliberate sabotage. Vance cannot stand this behavior. She often accuses Frawley of intentionally sabotaging scenes or ruining her performance with off-topic comments or harsh lines. Social psychological causes, appearance discrimination, and jealousy. Frawley's animosity toward Vance was equally intense. He despised Vance's arrogant attitude and particularly resented her comments about his age and appearance. Frawley frequently called Vance derogatory names behind her back, such as the sack of doorknobs and that fat broad. These vitriolic comments showed that the feud was not just professional, but had turned personal, reflecting a deep conflict in values and self-image. Vance's resentment at being forced to play the wife of a man 22 years her senior, combined with Frawley's lazy attitude and personal insults, created a toxic work environment. The animosity became so toxic that it began to shape their professional decisions. When I Love Lucy ended, Desi Arnaz asked Vance and Frawley to star in a spin-off show focusing on Fred and Ethel Mertz. Although Frawley was interested, Vance declined. Her main reason was that she did not want to work dual team with Frawley, as their relationship had become too strained. This choice only intensified the animosity between them. Frawley was equally determined. He had a clause in his contract that stated that if Vance left the show, he would never work with her again. This refusal to continue working together was the tipping point where everything came together and things spiraled out of control. They would rather give up a lucrative commercial opportunity than spend more time together. The aftermath and significance of the dark truth. Even after the show ended and they went their separate ways, the bitterness remained. Their feud was characterized by horrifying acts of hostility. When Frawley died in 1966, Vance was said to have shouted, "Champagne for everyone!" Frawley, on the other hand, is said to have celebrated Vance's cancer diagnosis in the late 1970s, telling a friend, "That old hag finally got what she deserved." While these stories may be fictional, they highlight the depth and enduring animosity between the two actors. The implications of this dark truth are striking. They made one of television's most iconic couples, despite a real-life relationship marred by hatred, suspicion, and vitriol. They delivered a masterclass in acting. The revelation shocked the public because it challenged the belief in the warmth and friendship they had seen on screen. Vivian Vance's life was a story of resilience and extraordinary talent, achieving great things from her early days on Broadway to becoming the first Emmy winner for a supporting role and maintaining a deep, complex friendship with Lucille Ball. However, her life was also marred by personal pain, including unhappy marriages and the metastatic cancer that took her life at the age of 70. Vance's most famous and ironic legacy lies in her intense feud with William Frawley. They succeeded in creating a perfect illusion of warmth and companionship that audiences around the world came to adore. They were the embodiment of paradox, personal dislike transformed into enduring comedic chemistry. The hidden truth about the feud between Ethel Mertz and Fred Mertz raises a profound question. Is there a limit to the pressure a celebrity can endure to create an illusion of happiness? And does our society need to change how we view the invisible burdens, even internal animosity, that artists face to achieve and maintain on-screen excellence? Vivian Vance's career will forever be a reminder that sometimes the loudest laughter comes from the deepest cracks.